time frame on gold. And so when I look at this chart, I'm asking myself a few questions typically, right? I want to ask myself, where are we in terms of the weekly power of three? So I want to know where, right? Where are we placing a trade, right? Where are we in price? So when it comes to the where, I'm looking at a few things. I want to look at the weekly PO3. I then want to look at the daily PO3, right? And then I also want to look at Asia. So these are the three things I'm looking for. So if we just take that to one side, what I want traders to look at now is the following thing, right? We're going to be basing this trade off a particular scenario. So if we go over here, this is now the 12th of June. What we can see is we can see a manipulative move down, and then we see a fair value gap to the upside, right? So we are typically looking for a bounce off a fair value gap, right? So let's just go over here and understand what was going on. This here is going to be our Judah swing, right? ICT Judah swing, it's the low of the day before price breaks structure. So we're typically looking for a fair value gap and a breaker structure, right? Sweeping the Asian low. This here is the bread and butter of a POI, right? What I look for a POI is the following things, right? Breaker structure and fair value gap. And so my POI is going to be something like this, right? This is my POI, and I'm going to make this very clear for people why this is essentially a POI. POI is a point of interest, an order block, a demand area, whatever you want to call it. And so the reason this is a POI, and I want traders to understand how I do this, right? We have a fair value gap, right? Technically, this is going to be the fair value gap in blue. The reason this is a fair value gap is we can see this particular candle. So the fair value gap starts here and it ends over here in line with this candle. So this is the fair value gap, and therefore this is the POI. To give us some more context or confirmation to validate this POI, we see a large amount of liquidity over here. Right, so this gives us indication. This is inducement. So inducement, simply for those who don't know that, inducement is very simply liquidity drop before a POI. So when price comes into a POI, we're looking for price to tap into the POI before potentially reversing that trend and heading higher. And we're going to be going through exactly what happens in this region, right? When price sweeps liquidity before tapping into a fair value gap, it is added confluence as to when price is going to reverse. Okay. So let's just take this over to the right and see what we have, right? So price taps into this POI coming into the next week. And so a quick tip on this, right, is if I just replay price, what we're looking for, right, is